approach to gold really comes from the monetary side and the economic side. So I talk about the role of gold as a monetary asset. Of course, it was money. It still is, in my opinion, but a lot of people date the end of the gold standard to August 15, 1971, when Richard Nixon officially ended the convertibility of gold. But that was meant to be temporary. In fact, they used the word temporary, and I've spoken to a number of the people who were with the president at Camp David that weekend, and they all said the same thing. They said there was a temporary suspension, just the way a hedge fund suspends redemptions, and we were going to devalue the dollar and go back to the gold standard. Well, the second part never happened. That's 45 years ago. I was in graduate school in economics at the time. We actually studied gold as a monetary asset. So that's how I approached the subject. So a little bit different, but I think ask the audience, but I think it went over very well. First book, Currency Wars. That book came out in 2011. But when you go back and read it, I realized, well, at the time the book came out, gold was at close to an all-time high of about $1,900 an ounce, and the dollar index that the Fed uses was at an all-time low. And by the way, they're related. In some ways, the price of gold is just strong dollar, weak gold, or a weak dollar, strong gold. A lot has happened in the currency wars since then, including the fact that from that low, the dollar rallied to a 17-year high, and gold crashed 50%. Now, to me, that's all part of the currency wars. I never said that the currency wars were static, or it always meant a weak dollar or strong gold, or a weak dollar or strong euro. What it means is that there's no stability, there's no coherence in the international monetary system, and relative values keep fluctuating. So all I do is I bring the story forward, update it for a lot of Chinese aspects. That's coming out soon, but I'm also working on a new book, fourth volume in a quartet. So the Currency Wars, The Death of Money, The Road to Ruin, and this will be volume 4. The New Case for Gold is off to the side, coming out in November 2018. So I have two book projects, an update to Currency Wars and a new book. I've been very fortunate. I've had a lot of great mentors on the literary side in my books. My agent, Melissa Flashman, and two of my editors, Courtney Young and Nikki Papadopoulos at Penguin Random House. So they've been very, very influential. Of course, my family is very supportive, my wife Ann, and just in terms of the amount of travel I do and the amount of, when you write, it's a little bit lonely. You have to sort of, curl up in your writing studio and get things done. And my family's been very supportive. Through many years of working with the CIA and the intelligence community, I've learned a lot about intelligence analysis, and you have to filter out your cognitive biases. They're a bundle of behavioral biases and cognitive biases, confirmation bias. We tend to accept the information that agrees with us and reject the information that doesn't agree with us. If you study these biases, you can't make them go away because we're human, but when you're aware of them, you can be a little more self-critical. So candidly, getting a few things wrong, whether it's going through 1998 long-term capital management, working with the CIA after 9/11, through Iraq and so forth, you learn that if you cannot separate out your emotion, you're going to get a lot of bad results and bad analysis. I would say the best trader I ever knew, Bruce Kovner, who was the head of Caxton. I worked there for a number of years. Bruce was the best at this. You just have to have ice water in your veins. Doesn't mean you're a cold person, but you do have to be a cold analyst.